Here. Hi, everybody. I hope you will enjoy joining me for the book of Ruth. Hang on. Last week, I started studying with Chetziba after Passover, the book of Ruth, because it's something. The book of Ruth is how we prepare for. That's good. Book of Ruth is how we prepare for Shavuos. So, how many weeks are there between Pesach and Shavuos?
Well, there's 49 days.
Right, so how many weeks is that?
A
week is 7 days, so 49 divided by 7 is?
7.
7 weeks. And your Bas Mitzvah is right after Shavuos, so we're doing the book of Ruth. And we did Perek Aleph, chapter 1, and then we were in the middle of here. We did chapter 2, and we're in the middle of chapter 3. So what did we find out so far? Ruth was married to Elimelech, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Naomi, which means the sweet one, was married to Elimelech. Elimelech died, and Naomi had 2 sons. And what happened to them?
They died.
They also died. Very tragic. They died. Okay.
Wait.
And then that's okay. They died, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And they were married to 2 Moabite women whose names were Orpah and Ruth, right? And then what happened to?
They died.
They also died, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there's all this tragedy, and then Orpah and Ruth start accompanying Naomi back to Israel, right, David? Okay. 1 second. No, okay, teaching a class now. Okay, so Naomi she goes back with Orpah and Ruth. She tells Ruth, leave. Why should you leave? Because you have no future with me. My son's died. I have no other children. And what does Ruth famously say?
Wherever you go,
I will go.
I will go wherever you. Your people are
my people.
Your God is my God.
Your God is my God.
Wherever you die, whenever you die.
Wherever you die, there too I will die, and
I will be
Shama Kover, there I will be
buried.
Right? And today, as I said, that becomes the classic formula for conversion to Judaism. A convert to Judaism, like Ruth, she was a Moabite woman who became a Jewish woman. They have to express, your God is my God, your Torah is my Torah, your people are my people. You have to take an interest in the future of the Jewish people, right? Okay, now, so Boaz is a Gibor Chal. He's like a very successful guy, and he's Naomi's what? He's a relative, right? They're like cousins, and he's a widower. His wife passed away, and he owns all these fields. And he sees that Ruth, he sees a new woman who is collecting. What's she collecting? David, what's she collecting?
Like barley.
Barley and what else?
Fruits.
Wheat.
Wheat.
Corn, sheaves. Because the law is that when you collect things from your field, what happens if you drop something? If I'm collecting things from my field and I drop some sheaves of wheat or corn, what's the law? What's the halacha? The halacha is I have to leave it there for who?
For the poor people.
For the poor people. And when I harvest a field, after I plow a field and seed it and then I harvest it, how do I harvest it? I have to leave the corners.
Frame, or the corners.
So if this is the field, I would have to go like this in doing it, like that, and I'd have to leave the corners. That's called peah. And who is that left for?
The poor people.
It's left for the poor people too, right, David? The poor people. So Boaz sees that there's this incredible woman, and she's collecting. She's very poor, obviously. But she looks like she has this incredible dignity to her. She looks regal because what does the Medrash say? What kind of family was Ruth from?
Moab.
She was from Moab. That's the country. But what kind of family is she from?
something night.
She's from a princely family. She's a princess.
Oh.
So she's very regal, but now she's very poor. So Boaz can see something very odd about this Ruth woman. She has such incredible dignity. And what did she do that's different to all the other women? What did she do?
She bent her knees instead of...
When she went to bend down, she didn't bend down. She bent her knees, which was a sign of tznius, of
modest.
modesty. That's right. Very good, Chatziba. David, last night you were jamming out and rocking out, and now Torah is where you really rock out. Does that make sense? Okay. So we have for all of you who want to follow at home, we're at Book of Ruth, chapter 2, and we're at verse 11. I'm going to go to verse 10 if you want to follow us. We have it in front of the computer, so we're staring right at it. So remember, he said to her, you're not going to go anywhere else to any other field. You're going to come to my field, and I'm going to make sure that you have enough food. And what does she say to him? So Ruth fell on her face. She bent all the way down to the ground. She said to Boaz, why are you being so nice to me to show me special recognition? I'm a foreigner. I'm not even Jewish. I mean, she had converted to Judaism, but she's saying I'm a convert. And you're being so nice to me. And what did I tell you? The Zohar says this means. How can you claim to know me when I'm unknowable? Women are mysterious. You're going to be a bas mitzvah. Women are very mysterious. Men find all women very mysterious. They can never understand them, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So...
Now, verse 11. It was told to me everything you did for your mother-in-law when your husband Elimelech died. And I heard that you're an incredible woman who's left her father and mother's, her parents, and and your birthplace. And then you came to a nation that you don't know. You came to a brand new nation. And I want Hashem to repay you. And your reward should be full from the God of the Jewish people, under whose wings you've come to take shelter. So, David, when someone comes to take shelter under Hashem's wings, what does that mean when someone comes to take shelter?
When someone comes to take shelter, that means that they, I don't know.
That's when you become a convert to Judaism. You've come to take shelter under God's wings. That's a classic expression of conversion. I know he's saying, I'm amazed at what you've done to join the Jewish people. And when people convert to Judaism today, remember, to convert to Judaism, it's not easy. You have to take all the Torah's mitzvahs. You have to start keeping kosher, Shabbos, all of those things. But you also are joining a people that are hated and have been traditionally hated for centuries, for millennia, and have been slaughtered and killed. And you're joining the Jewish people. That's not an easy thing to do. It's something very admirable. Even though when people come to convert, we push them away. 3 times we push them away if they want to convert. Why do we push them away? Number 1, because we don't think that you're becoming a better person by becoming Jewish. We don't want them to feel that you're inadequate being Jewish. That's the first reason. Second reason, we want to make sure they're sincere. Some people can convert for insincere reasons.
And because we don't want them to think that miracles will happen.
Well, we hope miracles will happen.
No, for that, if they're becoming Jewish, that means that they're only becoming Jewish because they want miracles to happen to them.
Oh, you mean for a reward? Right, that's good.
Yeah.
That they shouldn't just convert for the wrong reasons, for a reward, right?
I think I heard that somewhere.
See what someone just wrote? It's amazing she became the great-grandmother of King David. That's right. That's why we read about her. Okay. So then she said, let me find favor in your eyes, Boaz. Because you have comforted me. And you've spoken on the heart of your maidservant. And even though I'm not as worthy as one of your handmaids. She's a very humble person, Ruth, very humble. Who else do you know, David, that's incredibly humble in your life?
You want to say you.
Exactly. The person sitting right next to you, your
Father?
That's correct. Your father's incredibly humble. Thank you very much. Thank you for acknowledging that. It's like pulling teeth. You don't see how humble I am? Seriously? Okay. Yeah, I teach my kids to praise me. God, they should just know it on their own. And so Boaz said to her, when it comes to eat, the meal times, I want you to come and take v'achalt min alechem. I want you to take bread, v'taval pitich b'chomet, and I want you to dip your bread into the vinegar. And I want you to sit next to the people who are the reapers. The reapers are the one who cut all the wheat. And then he gave her some parched grain. And she ate, and it was enough, and there was even some left over, because she's going to take some of it back to Naomi. There's even some that's left over. Now, David, when it says that they dipped the bread in vinegar, what do you love dipping your bread in?
Oil.
What kind of oil?
Olive oil.
You love olive oil. You learned that from me. Mm-hmm. So why don't you ever dip your bread in vinegar, and be more biblical? Why are you doing it in oil?
Tastes better.
Have you ever tried dipping it like Boaz and Ruth? Dip it in vinegar? You gotta try that now. Boaz is now Arav. You see, my son David Chaim, we did his big concert last night with his guitar. So now you're like this big rock star, and like learning Torah is like too much for you or something? Because you're a big rock star?
No.
Okay. Boaz is now Arav. Then Boaz, so then when she got up, Boaz told all of his workers, let Ruth glean among the sheaves, let her take whatever she wants, and don't embarrass her. You want to make sure, don't embarrass her. When you embarrass someone, what do you take from them?
Confidence.
You take their confidence, okay. What else? When you embarrass someone, what do you take from them, David?
Their trust.
Their trust, that's true, yes. What else?
Happiness.
You can take their happiness, but what's the main thing when you embarrass someone? Why is it the biggest sin? One of the biggest sins in the Torah. It says that if you embarrass someone, you lose your place in the world to come. Whoever embarrasses his friend in public, they lost their place in the world to come. Malbin means you make someone, if you embarrass someone.
But the person that was embarrassed, or the person
that does the embarrassing. Okay. And why is that? Because when you embarrass someone, you strip them, you rob them of their dignity. Every human being has to feel that they have a certain dignity, a certain self-worth, that they're valuable, that they're important. If you embarrass someone, you make them feel like they're
nothing,
worthless, right? Like they're nothing. So he says, be very careful not to embarrass her. It's embarrassing, and that's why whenever we give to the poor, we have to make sure that we never take their dignity. Even a mitzvah like giving tzedakah is not enough. You have to do it in a way that you never embarrass someone. That's why the Rambam says one of the highest forms of tzedakah is to give your money to like an organization that then gives it to the poor, so they don't have to feel beholden to you. They don't have to feel embarrassed. V'gam shol tasholula min hatzvasim hatzavtem v'likta v'loi sigarova, and also pretend to forget some of the bundles for her. Leave them, and leave it that she may glean, and do not scold her. What is that? What does he mean by that, David? Pretend to leave some of the... Move over here. What does that mean, David? Pretend to leave some of it. Don't make her ask for the food. Leave it there, but don't let her know that you left it there, so that she won't be embarrassed. Okay. So preserving people's dignity is such an important thing, making them feel special, never making someone feel like they're worthless, and that's a very hard thing. Always making people feel like they're significant. Like, okay, remember the stories I always tell you guys when, like, if someone's asks you on the street for like $1, and I always say, when you give someone $1 on the street, if they ask for it, it's not. That dollar is not going to change their life. Usually it's $1. But what you make them feel is that you listened to them, that you made eye contact with them, that you gave them a certain dignity, that they're God's children, that you care about them. And then what do you say to someone when you give them $1 on the street? What do you always say?
God bless you.
God bless you. That's right. You always say God bless you because it gives them dignity. Okay. So she continued to collect food in the field until night. Isn't that sad? Like, how poor the people were at the time, how poor she is that she has to gather all this. Then she beat out what she had gleaned. I guess she beat it out. And after she winnowed it and got rid of all the shells and everything, she had a full ephah of barley. So she brought back a substantial collection of barley. And barley could be very satisfying. It could take away hunger. But so she carried it and came all the way back to the city, and she brought it to her mother-in-law. Now Naomi sees that she has all this food and all this barley, so and she took it and gave her what she had left over after being satisfied. See what an incredible person Ruth is? Even when she was given the special food by Boaz, like the richer food, she only ate a little bit of it. Why? Why'd she only eat a little bit of it? Because she wanted to give it to
it for Naomi.
For Naomi. But remember, Naomi's not her mother. Naomi's her mother-in-law. Look how much she loves her, how much she cares about her. So her mother-in-law said to her, where did you go collect today? Where did you go collecting today? And where have you worked? May he who took care of you be blessed. She told her mother-in-law that everything she did with Boaz. And she said, by the way, the man who was so kind to me today and who gave me so much dignity and spoke to me so nicely and told me to come to his field, and his name is Boaz. Now Naomi can't believe it. Boaz, that's my relative. But so Naomi says to her daughter-in-law, Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hu Hashem. Blessed be he of the Lord. Blessed be Hashem, who did not forget his kindness with the living or with the deceased, meaning with you and me who are living, or with our relatives who passed away. Because she can't believe the way this is all coming together now. Because Naomi understands Ruth is single. She's going to need a husband. The two of them are destitute. What does destitute mean?
What else?
No, what does destitute mean? Destitute means
Desperate.
Kind of. Destitute means extremely impoverished, utterly poor, destitute. So she knows that Ruth is a widow. She's a widow. Ruth is young and she's going to have to get remarried. And suddenly Boaz, who is Naomi's relative and he's a good man, appears on the scene. And Ruth now sees, oh my God, Naomi now sees, oh my gosh, I could have thought before that Hashem had abandoned us because everything was going wrong for us. Elimelech died. Machlon died. Kilion died. All these people died. These terrible things. Orpah left, even though she pushed her to leave. And maybe Naomi said, don't even call me Naomi. Call me what? What did she say she call me?
A name that...
Call me Mara. What does Mara mean?
Bitterness.
Bitterness. Don't call me the sweet one. Call me...
The bitter one.
The bitter one, because my life is so bitter. But now she sees her life's beginning to change. And sometimes, like in an instant, like right now during coronavirus, it's so hard. So many people are suffering, and so many people have lost their lives. Some people are sick. But you know what? Keherafine, Yeshua Hashem Keherafine. In a blink of an eye, everything can turn around. Tomorrow, God willing, we can start seeing the virus receding. We can start seeing real remedies and real medications that work. God willing, we might even see the miracle of a vaccine develop very quickly. Right? Yeshua Hashem Keherafine. What does that mean? Yeshua Hashem, the salvation of God Keherafine. It's like a blink of an eye. It can happen like this. So now Naomi recognizes there's a turn in their mazel and their fortune. And so Naomi said to her, this man is our relative. He is our relative. He's going to be the one that's going to help us. He's our redeemer. Look at the way the Megillah Ruth always refers to Ruth the Moabite. And Ruth the Moabite said, why do you think that is, David? Why does it keep on saying Ruth the Moabitess? The Moabite. Why does it say that?
To keep on reminding you that even though she's a Moabite, she still has Jewish values.
Yeah, that's probably right. To remind you that even though she's a Moabite woman, she's really embraced the Jewish people. That in other words, whenever the Rabbi always used to say, whenever the Torah talks about a convert, it doesn't say Goy Shinis Gayer, a non-Jew, a Gentile who converted to Judaism. It always says Ger Shinis Gayer, a convert who converted. So Naomi comes from a totally foreign nation, totally foreign people, but she's so connected to the Jewish people and her values are so principled. So, Gam ki omar elai imana orim asher li tidbokun adim kilu is kol hakatzer asher li. So Ruth says, and he also said to me, Boaz also said to me, you shall stay with my youth, my workers, until they finish my harvest. You should stay with them. So why is she saying this? Why is Ruth saying this? She's saying this because she's saying, like, what is it? Do you think that there was something romantic in what Boaz was saying? Was Boaz saying this to just feed Ruth, or was it because he has an interest in her? What do you think?
He has an interest in her.
He has an interest in her because he sees that she's a very special woman. We said before, very modest, very devoted, very dedicated. So what does Naomi say to Ruth? Atamar Naomi al Ruth kalasa toiv biti. This is very good, my daughter. Isn't it interesting? Now she calls her my daughter, not my daughter-in-law. See that? Toiv biti? Ki seitzi min said you should go out with his workers, the maidens that work with him, so that they do not molest you in another field. If you go in another field, someone might hurt you. If you go there, he's going to protect you. So she, Ruth, started going out with the women who worked for Boaz, to glean, to pick up the completion of the barley harvest and the wheat harvest. And she stayed with her mother-in-law. So now Ruth is becoming part of Boaz's, group. See that?
Yeah.
So that's the end of chapter 2, Perek Beis. So before we finish, let's just look at this for a few minutes. David, what are you learning about Boaz from this Perek? Give me some adjectives that would describe Boaz.
Kind.
He's kind, yes. Go on.
Kind.
I think he's bold also. He's very bold. He's very forthright. He comes to Ruth and says, I want you to stay in this field, and I want you to... He's very bold. He's very declarative. He declares what he wants. He's very, he's... What else do we learn about him? He's also very humble. Remember the way he speaks to his workers? He says, Hashem should bless you. Right? He says, Hashem should be with you. They say, Yivrach Hashem. He shows them a lot of respect. He's also very, what? The word begins with an S. He's also very sensual.
Sensitive?
He's very sensitive. How do we see that he's very sensitive?
Because...
He's very sensitive. He's very sensitive to Ruth's self-respect. He knows that she's a woman who's been brought low. She was probably once rich, and now he's very sensitive to how much she is suffering. Right? Because it can't be easy for her to have to go around as a destitute woman picking up the scraps that people live in their fields. It's very, very hard. What does the word destitute mean again?
Very poor.
Poor. Okay. What are we learning about Ruth? What are we learning about Ruth? We learn that she's very
She's modest.
Modest, yeah. Go on.
She's caring for Naomi.
Very devoted to Naomi, yeah.
Yeah.
A very dedicated person. Dedication and loyalty are great qualities. Go on. What else?
She's
Because she's going to be the great-grandmother of King David and all the Jewish kings and Mashiach. So she has to have very special qualities. And what else?
She's...
Notice that Ruth doesn't get embarrassed easily. She could easily feel very embarrassed that she's having to pick up this food as a poor woman, but she's not. She has her dignity. She doesn't let other people take her dignity away from her.
Proud.
She's proud, but not in a arrogant way.
She's proud that, she's become very devoted to Judaism.
Right. And picked up and connected herself to the Jewish people.
Yeah.
And finally, what do we learn about Naomi?
What
do we learn about Naomi?
Oh.
See, Naomi's suddenly given hope. She had given up hope. Naomi said, call me Mara. That's a very depressing thing to say.
Naomi.
Yeah.
Oh.
When your friends come to you and you say, hey, Naomi, welcome back to Israel. You say, don't call me Naomi, call me
Mara.
Mara.
Bitter.
But now she's changing. Now Naomi is beginning to have hope, right? She sees that things are looking up, thank God. And she's beginning to, her faith in Hashem is strengthening because she's seeing that God has a plan, that all along God had a plan, that something big is going to happen here, that something magnificent is going to happen here. And that Ruth is going to be one of the most famous women of history. You know? Look how common the name Ruth is. Everywhere you go, in every society, every culture, every ethnicity, every religion, it's such a common name. She has such an incredible place in history. And she, can you imagine? The great-grandmother of David HaMelech. Okay, I hope you all enjoyed that class. We're going to be studying again. And Chatzipa's Bas Mitzvah is in 3 months, God willing. Excited?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. I'm very excited.
And David, when's your next concert? Huh?
It was this morning.
Did you like doing your concert yesterday?
Yeah, it was like the best, one of the best nights ever.
Really? How many songs did you play? Come here.
I can't remember my song, but it was definitely like a milestone for me, for sure.
The first one?
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you feel very indebted to your father for teaching you how to play the guitar?
Very funny.
Actually,
How well can your father play an instrument? Just tell me.
Can't play.
Can't play at all. See, look at that. Okay, have a good night, everybody. God bless you guys. Keep everyone, be healthy.